Updating your Canvas course can take a ton of time, especially when you are going for more engaging content and accessible pages. But I've got some really quick, easy to follow tips for you to level up your Canvas course. Let's talk about that course content. Got my syllabus posted here as a PDF. Now I can take that PDF and turn it instead into a Canvas page. I've downloaded this and I'm gonna go right over into ChatGPT. Let's upload our syllabus. I'm just gonna click that plus sign. I'm gonna add a file. There's my syllabus and click open. And I'm gonna ask it to change it into, so I'm gonna say, give me the HTML code. Don't worry, you don't need to know anything about HTML code. Give me the HTML code for the syllabus that changes it into a fully accessible and well-formatted page for my Canvas class. And I want to use some color too. So I'm going to say add some color for things like heading, banners, and so on. So you can add as much detail as you want. Let's go ahead and click that arrow. It's going to take just a few moments for it to read the information and to get to all of that code. So you've got to be just a little bit patient. So it took maybe about 4 minutes for it to create all of that code that's going to turn that PDF into an accessible formatted page. Now, I promise that you don't need to know any of this code, and I'm going to hold that promise. I'm just going to click this copy code in the upper right-hand corner. So we're going to click copy. Let's go back over to our course, and I'm going to go into that module, and I'm going to add a brand new page. Now, you can do this with any of your PDFs. We want to add a page, and I want to add a blank page. We're going to call this syllabus, and I'll indent that one level and add item. Now it's just going to add a blank page for us. To get that code in there, I'm going to click edit in the upper right hand corner. And then I'm going to look at the bottom of my rich content editor for the HTML code button. I'm going to click this to get there. All you have to know how to do is to copy and paste. Now I'm on a PC, so I'm going to do a Control V to paste. If you were on a Mac, you do a Command V. 380 lines of code. Let's go ahead and use that rich content editor toggle. I'm going to toggle back, and here is my syllabus. Kind of amazing, right? Now, if I look down at that accessibility checker, it did find just one issue. Let's click on that, and it says the first heading should have an H2. I'm gonna say change only this heading's level, and then I will hit apply, and now everything is fully accessible. Let's go ahead and click save and publish, and we're ready for the next tip. Now, we saw how to make a PDF a fully accessible and nicely formatted page, so of course we can do this with a not so nicely formatted page. Let's find one of those in my modules. Now I promise these are my actual pages. The one that I wanted to update here, and there are actually lots, is this how to use a late pass. So if I click on this, it's got highlighting instead and really little formatting. So I am going to click edit. I want to make this more engaging and fully accessible. So I'm going to do something really similar to what we did with that PDF. But instead, I'm going to grab the HTML code. Now again, I'm not doing any coding. I'm letting ChatGPT do that for me, or your favorite AI tool. So I'm going to go ahead and click my HTML code toggle here in the lower right hand corner. So I'm going to click that, and there's a lot of code here. So I've got 14 lines, not too much. You can use this array of dots in the lower right hand corner to give yourself a little more real estate, and that way we can see all of that code. So I'm just going to click, hold, and drag through all of the code, and then I'm going to let go. I'm on a PC, so I'm going to do Control C to copy. If you were on a Mac, you would do a Command C. So I'm going to do a Control C. And I'm going to put this code into ChatGPT. Can you make this page more fully accessible and formatted, let's say similar to the syllabus you just did? I also don't like the highlighted text. I'm going to do a shift return to get myself down on the next line. You don't have to, I just like to do that. And then I'm going to do a control V or a command V on a Mac. So a control V to get that code in there. Let's go ahead and send this off to ChatGPT. And this one went much more quickly since there isn't as much code. Now I've got to wait until it's completely done here. So let me just scroll through until I know it's finished. Just waiting for it to give me a little summary there at the end. Oh, there we go. Okay, so it gave me some suggestions at the bottom there, but I am just going to copy this code. If it turns out I don't like it, I'm just going to come back to ChatGPT and ask it to improve it. Let's go ahead and copy the code back over to our course. I've got it all selected here. I'm going to get rid of it, and you can always get back if you need to. I'm going to do a control V here. Let's toggle back to the rich content editor. And I've got it formatted in a similar way. Now, if you didn't like this for some reason, you could of course restyle it, or if you wanted to go back to the original style, you could do that too. Now I saved it. If I click on the three dots, I can go to View Page History, and it will take me to the previous page history, which includes that former version. If using ChatGPT and getting to that HTML code isn't something you feel comfortable doing, don't worry, I've got you. I have a content template bundle that you can use that comes with it already made, fully accessible and formatted pages, including like a discussion board, a homepage, a quiz, a page, and I'm sure there's something else in there that I'm missing. All you've got to do is add your content. Let's talk about modules next. So I'm going to go back to my module. It's really nice to have your modules laid out in a very consistent way. So you can see here in my class, I've got my Getting Started modules to start. And then after my Getting Started modules, I've got week 1. And each of my modules are set up to have homework help, due Monday, due Wednesday, due Friday. Other instructors will have things like reading materials, viewing materials, discussion, and assessment or something like that. But it's really good to have a consistent format. So a great way to do that is to create a template. I'm going to add a module here, and I'm just going to call this my module template. And I'm just going to remind myself, do not publish. Let's go ahead and add that module. It's of course going to add it at the very bottom. So I'm just going to scroll down to the very bottom here. And let me make this a little bit smaller so it's easier to see. And I'm going to go ahead and add in those text headings. So I'm going to click plus, and then I'm going to add a text heading. So text header. And this first one for mine, the first one is homework help. And then add item. And then the second one is another text header, is due Monday, add item, and then I'm going to add the other two as well. Now, once I've got this the way that I wanted, I can take this now and copy it back right into my course. To do that, I'm going to click the three dots at the heading of that module. So I'm going to click the three dots, and I'm going to say copy to. And I want to copy it to this course, which is math, I think it's my math 101. So I'm going to copy it to my math 101 course, and I'm going to go ahead and just click copy. Okay, close. It'll take a few minutes for it to show up in my modules. And now you'll notice that I've got 2 of them here at the bottom. I can go ahead and edit this first one and call it whatever I want to call it. Now, if you want to start with fully accessible content, take a look at my content bundle. Let me know if you want a deeper dive on any of the topics that we covered today. I will see you next time.